Today we're talking about my experience in taking the Ridgeback. Choosing a rifle stock for your rifle is very important. Not only does it offer the ergonomics, as it is literally what you are connecting with when you shoot your rifle, but it also needs to offer that solid, rigid platform to deliver the accuracy that your rifle is potential, the rifle's potential. It needs to be solid, it needs to have that good foundation because it is literally the foundation that holds everything together. My name is Dave Tim from Guns and Tactics. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Today we are doing my review on the Grayboe Ridgeback stock. This stock I received about a year ago. I did a first look video on it. You can check that out check that video out here if you're watching on YouTube. I'll put a card up there. If you're watching on other social media platforms, go ahead and check out our webpage. You can type in Grayboe as the keyword and it should bring you to the first look video. And while you're there, check out the other content. And if you like what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button as well. Right now, as of the time of this video, the stock is available for Remington 700 pattern, which a lot of the aftermarket actions follow that footprint. It is available in short action and long action. More inlets are coming soon, I am told. They know that there's a lot of really great actions on the market. They know that there's a lot of interest, and they are working on that. I don't know which ones are coming out first or when, but it is on their radar, so I would highly encourage you to reach out to them and let them know what you're interested in. Maybe that demand will help shape which stocks they come out with first. I've been shooting this now for the last few months, and I have about 550 rounds through the rifle, through the stock. This is what it was built up to be. And I did learn a few things which we'll kind of go to, but I don't have ammunition sponsors, I don't have glass sponsors or rifle sponsors or anything. So everything like this is out of pocket with the exception of the stock. So I have to kind of be cautious with my budget because this was an expensive investment for me to get into, but I've really enjoyed it. Now, Grayboe started out making a licensed copy of the Macmillan A5, which is shown here. And this is their Renegade stock. And it's a very comfortable stock. The A5 from Macmillan is a very comfortable stock, so this copy of it is just as comfortable. Now, I liked the Ridgeback enough that I actually went out and bought a Renegade for my 5R. I just was that impressed. So I like their products. Now, that being said, why did I choose the Renegade over the Ridgeback for that gun? I just happened to find a really good deal on the Renegade for that particular gun. As a 223 trainer, that I'll probably get into another future video or whatever, but if I was choosing, I would definitely buy the Ridgeback every time. It offers the same comfortable ergonomics with the pistol grip. It offers an adjustable cheek rest with the quick adjust knob. Now, it does also ship with a socket head cap screw, so if you wanted to take this knob out and just replace it with a cap screw, you could do that. However, that kind of brings me into one lesson learned. In order for me to remove my bolt, I'd have to lower the cheek rest based on the height of my scope and everything else. How I like to shoot it is pretty much set up at this height right here, as you can see, and obviously the bolt cannot be removed, so I'd have to lower the cheek piece if I need to remove the bolt for whatever reason. That also brings in to the next lesson learned with this particular action, which is a Seekins Havoc action. It does have a little bit longer travel than the Remington 700, and it does kind of have this tang that kind of, it's not really a tang, but anyways, it has the piece of the bolt here that would hit the cheek piece. So I did have to modify the cheek piece slightly, basically using a rotary tool. You could use an end mill, whatever, and I just had to cut a recess. And initially I made one cut, well then I found that I liked the cheek piece a little bit higher, so I kind of had to make another little valley in here. But then I just replaced that with some epoxy, or refinished I should say, with some epoxy based paint, and it looks good, and it allows the bolt to travel just fine and not interfere at all with the cheek rest. So that was kind of one lesson learned. The other thing that I did notice, on aftermarket actions, the ejection port is generally going to be a little larger in size than the standard Remington 700 ejection port. You can see here that the ejection port cut is meant for the 700. It fits perfectly on a 700. With the Seekins Havoc, it's a little larger. So one day I'm probably going to modify that a little bit and again retouch that using the same method that I used with that. But on the other side, what's nice if you do have aftermarket action. It does already have a cutout for the external bolt release, which is common on several aftermarket actions. And then right back here is also level. And again, when I was shooting my first precision rifle match, a lot of the guys were telling me, hey, make sure your rifle is straight up and down when you're taking these longer shots at 700-800 yards, because that can really have a big difference. And I found myself looking down, looking at that level. It was in a nice, convenient spot, and it worked out really well. So I thought that was just a really nice feature to have that level built in. The back of the stock does feature a spacer system, which it does come with some spacers. So if you wanted to increase the length of pull, depending on how big you are, you can certainly do that, no problem. It just uses simple 2 screws with the spacer. It does come with a recoil pad. The recoil pad is an Inflex padded pad. And it did just fine, I mean, with the recoil. The 6.5 Creedmoor that this gun is in doesn't have a ton of recoil anyway, but the recoil pad functioned just fine, and it had enough traction as well that I didn't find it was slipping off my coat or shirt or anything like that. So that worked really slick. My Seekins Havoc action dropped right in, and it has good contact with the recoil lug and good contact with the bottom of the receiver. I used some Dicam to kind of just see where the contact points were, and it's good. The barrel inlet is basically a Remington Varmint Sendero type profile. I have the Seekins barrel. I don't know exactly what profile they call it, but it fits just fine. It's definitely free floating, no issues with that. Grayboe has a great chart on their webpage as well that kind of shows the taper and contour of their cut. So if you have a question if your barreled action would fit, I highly suggest checking over their webpage. They had a lot of really good detailed information, which I was impressed with. Now, I have not skim bedded this, but I probably will. But accuracy was really good. Right out of the box, when I was just getting everything set up, I was getting several groups under an inch. And then what I found that this particular rifle really liked Hornady 147 grain match ammunition, which I only bought 1 box of. I bought a bunch of 140s thinking it would like that, but the 147s were under half-inch groups. And I had a great day at the range shooting some drills in these groups, and unfortunately my card got corrupt. But I will do a separate video on kind of zeroing your rifle, and I'll kind of show some of the rifle's potential. And I'm also going to be doing a review on the rifle as well coming up, so you can check that out if you're interested in the Seekins Havoc. But I've been very, very impressed with the rifle as just a side note. But the stock, it's comfortable. It lent itself well to getting in and out of different positions that I shot with at my first match and shooting at the range, and I just generally enjoyed it. Now I'm using the Seekins bottom metal just to kind of go with the Seekins action, and then as we move forward is where some of the stock features that I really liked. It has a nice flat forend that rode my bag. I was using a pint-size sticky Game Changer as a support, and it locked up really well with that. It also has M-lock slots on the sides and the bottom. On the bottom, I attached a small Picatinny piece from Arisaka in one of the M-lock slots, and this allows me to attach a bipod. Now, one of the things that I saw at the match that was really slick was a lot of people are using the Arca Swiss type rails on the bottom. And there are a couple of companies now that are making an Arca Swiss rail that either replaces or goes into the M-lock slots, depending on which option you go with. One company, you remove the bottom M-lock slots and replace it with their Arca rail. It lines up with the factory screw holes and hardware, so it attaches right to that stock, and then you have an Arca rail the whole length of the bottom of the stock. That allows you to move your accessories up and down, quick detach accessories. Another option would attach via M-lock, so you'd leave the factory hardware in place and then an Arca rail would attach to that. But I liked even the M-lock options. I didn't get to shoot with a tripod at this particular match, but I had a tripod plate and system ready that I was using the kinetic development system, so it quickly snaps right into the M-lock. So if I wanted to shoot with the tripod, I can quickly snap that plate in, attach it to the tripod, or if you wanted to set up a bipod with one of those kinetic development quick detach M-lock systems, it goes right in and out, no problem. So I liked that. I found the handguard portion of the stock was comfortable. The flat edges made it easy to line up on barricades, and like I said, it rode the bag really, really well. All in all, I'm impressed. It's just a really nice stock. I got to play with other competitors' gear, big stocks from other bigger names, and I found this to be just as comfortable. Now the construction is a little different. Every company is going to use their own kind of proprietary method, if you will, and Grayboe is doing something a little bit unique with their epoxy resin molding to try to cut costs a little bit, but still have a very rigid stock. And when they're doing their molding, they're actually including all the hardware. So everything that is threaded into the stock, these M-LOK pieces, the flush cups or QD sockets on the back and bottom of the stock, those are all into the stock. So it's not just they're quick using like drilling a wood screw, if you will, and just holding there. There's actually a metal female threaded portion that's molded in, and that's what the hardware threads into for the M-LOK portion there. So it's really, really solid. I haven't had any issues whatsoever when I was using the bipod as support. And I didn't use a sling much. The competitors that I was shooting with, kind of my mentors, they didn't use slings, so I didn't find that that was a big deal. But all in all, very, very comfortable stock. I really enjoyed it. A couple minor things learned, again, with the cheek piece, depending on what you are using, and if you have an aftermarket action that you might fight, it hit the ejection port, and otherwise it worked really, really well out of the box. I hope you found this video helpful. If you are on the fence about taking the Ridgeback, I would recommend you do it. If you're looking for a composite stock and you like the ergonomics of a stock versus a chassis, which that's a whole nother debate we're not going to get into, I've been impressed with the Ridgeback. Now, I'm not a leading leader in the precision rifle market. I'm not like a world grand champion or anything like that, but I'm just a guy who likes to shoot and can appreciate quality and attention to detail, as well as good people behind the product. And I found all of those things present in my experience with the Grayboe Ridgeback, as well as my own Renegade, which again, I bought on my own just because I was so impressed with the product. I really like it. I think you will too. Adjustable cheek piece, good ergonomics, M-LOK, solid comfort. What's not to like? And it's been holding everything just fine. If you have any questions about the Grayboe Ridgeback, please sound off in the comment section below. I'd be happy to take your questions. Speaking of questions, we also do have a monthly QA series. At the end of the month, we answer your questions. All you have to do is send us an email to the email address shown below. That's theqa@gunsandtactics.com. And then we also give away a prize every episode as well. It can be anything gun related, and if I don't know the answer, we'll find out and learn together. But please send us your questions so we can get that on the QA episode. For more information, you can check out their webpage. They do have a dealer network. You can purchase direct with different color options, and you can purchase through their dealers as well, such as big distributors online, maybe a local shop. Grayboe webpage will be on the screen, and you can also find their links tagged in social media depending on which platform you're watching this. So that's going to do it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like the content, if you like the channel, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and most important, share and subscribe. We really want to grow the channel, get the word out so we can make more content, do more stuff, and we can't do that if we aren't growing in our market. So we really do appreciate your help with that. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day. We work really hard to make content that we hope you as a shooter would enjoy. Subscribe to our channel, check out our featured videos and playlists, and if you have a question firearms related, go ahead and send an email to the address shown on the screen to be entered into our monthly QA series.